Today, we're going to be getting inside my mind before I get in the trade and while I'm in the trade itself. Most of the time, you guys only see my mindset while I'm in the trade, but no one really talks about before getting in the trade and what I'm really thinking about. And what I think about is a little bit different than what most people think. It's like reverse engineering the trade. But this might actually help a lot of people. So let's get right into it. Now, we're going to go over the trade that I took today because this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about with my mindset and the psychology behind the trades itself. And I traded this live. I was 1 for 1 on the day. Traded this live with the team as well. Here are my fills so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. Here you guys go. So here is my fills right here. You guys saw I got in at 1021.52, so right around this area right here for 124 contract for calls, right? And then I started selling right here around this high right here for 138 a contract. Then right here, as we start making this high around that 456 area for 140 a contract. And then this was my highest sell right there at 151 a contract at 1032.51. So you guys can see that I actually did take this trade as well. This is live. This is a real account. Proof that I actually took this trade. I took it live in front of everyone. And then I also, you guys just saw the fills right there. So this is my mindset going into this trade. And you guys can see that the reactions right here, right? This is something I planned out. And I said I was going to get in under that 20s area on SPY. And this is when we got in right here for puts. And this was an instant 30% move, even though it doesn't even look like that. But that was an instant 30% move. Super, super nice move. But that's what I'm talking about planned out. This thing right here, it's not planned out until 2 minutes, and you guys are going to see exactly why here in a second. Number one, here's my mindset going into this. We have this nice downside move. I wanted to catch a downside move, but I already missed the move, right? It just kept going and kept going. I wanted it to come up and then come back down, and I'll be able to get in because after I'm just chasing. My initial entry point was right here, right in this line right here. So right around that 40s area, 30s area. That's when I wanted to get in. But we were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red candles in a row. I was like, I'm not going to get in just yet. It is starting to slow down. You guys can see it's starting to slow down as well. And then we kept going into that low day. So now that I'm just chasing it, right? And this is my mindset. Then we start to come up a little bit, start to reverse here, start to come up, and then we come down. Everything is going to plan, right? This is exactly what a downtrend is. Goes down, comes up, goes down. So now I'm not even like thinking about taking another entry yet. I'm just waiting for it to set up again. Next thing you know, we have this huge downside candle, right? And then it stops. That starts raising some flags for me, which is a good thing for a reversal. And I think about it this way, right? Think about a train going 200 miles per hour and then out of nowhere it stops, right? This is how price action is supposed to go. It goes this nice downside move, people taking profits, then it continues. But especially after that huge aggressive candle, it just stops like that. A 200 mile per hour train just stops like that. It's just not how price action works. So there's obviously something there. So then it tries to keep going and then it starts to come back up again. And I'm like, okay, well, there's something there. It's reacting. There's something there. It doesn't just stop like that. We look over, it's pre-market low. So I'm like, all right, well, that starts to explain why, there's buyers in that area. So I was like, okay, well, if price action is supposed to go the way it is supposed to go, it would start to come down here. Number one, there's probably so many people that got shorts here or they got puts in this area. So now I know that there's people that are about to get faked out here. There's probably so many people that got in puts or just shorted this. And then price action is supposed to go the way it's supposed to go. It would have came down right in these two candles right here. And you guys can see it retested this low right here and then started to come up again. And then next thing you know, we start to retest this low again, and then we come up again, red to green. So I'm like, all right, well, we're obviously stopping here in this area. There's something in this area right here, right? This is what I'm thinking about. Not only that, after a huge aggressive move, we just stopped like that. You're telling me this candle could not break lower, right? After that huge aggressive move, you're telling me it's just going to stop like that, which is usually what does happen nowadays is usually this fake out, right? So it just made me more confident to take my entry that you're going to hear me talk about in a second. But we came up. So I was like, all right, well, this could definitely continue to the downside. This is how price action is supposed to go. So if it was going to continue, but it was a little weird that we stopped right there. But pre-market low explained that, why we stopped right there. So I was like, all right, we just got to get rid of those buyers in that area. If this was going to continue, it would have went now, those 2 candles right there, and it stopped. And I was like, all right, well, this next candle got to go, or else it's going to have a nice reversal right here. It retested this, went red to green. So I was like, all right, well, there's actual buyers here, especially because it stopped this huge candle to the downside. For something to stop a train going 200 miles per hour, there needs to be a thick wall. And this is the reason why I was able to take my reversal, because of this huge red candle, right? So this is literally what I did, right? Put a line right here in my head. I don't really draw it out as much, but I drew it out for the explanation. Again, this was a red candle, right? It started coming down. You got to read the story of these candles. Went red to green. And then as soon as it started coming up, I knew there was buyers there. I took the risk. My stop loss was right in this 50s area right here. My entry was 76, right? 455.76. This is where I entered at. My stop loss was right in the 50s area right here. So this was my stop right here, right under that low day. Why? Because price action could definitely just retest this 60s area, 57s area, because that was that pre-market low. But it didn't, thank goodness. But this thing, we planned for it. We were okay with that. It starts to come up in the 90s. I don't start taking some profits off yet, but I know it's reactive in that 90s. Starts to come down, starts to come back up again. Showing buyers are still in that area because this was a red candle and then it came right back up again. I'm just sticking to my plan. It's either it hits the 50s or it continues above the 90s. That's it. A lot of people panic sell. A lot of people can't wait. They can't be patient because they don't have a plan. My plan is it's either going to hit 456 or it's going to hit the 50s. It's one or the other, right? And this is the risk that I took. It has a higher probability of coming up. This is trading. It tries to come down, and then again, red to green. And the reason why I didn't panic sell was because this is how price action is supposed to happen. It doesn't just go straight up and it doesn't go straight down. It comes back to retest this area, and if it wants to bounce, this is where it would start to bounce at again, right? Since it didn't bounce already, it's going to have to come back down, gain some more buyers here, and then come back up. It could have went right here, right? But it didn't. And this is how price action works, right? There's sellers here. There's also buyers here. It needed to come back down and retest this area to continue higher. And next thing you know, it continued higher. This is where I started taking some off right here, 1028.06. So right as it went above the 90s. Again, this candle was red to green. I was like, okay, red to green, looking good. I'm not going to take anything off yet. I'm waiting for a clear break above 456. Next thing you know, we get a clear break above 456. I started taking some more off at 1031.21. So probably like right around this area right here. And then my last sell was right here, right at the area of 456.24 at 1032.51. Why there? Because this was previous reactions, right? You guys could see the reactions here pre-market. What is the high right here? 456.24. This is the reason why I sold right there, because I started seeing it reacting there, right? So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get out. Number 1, 2, 3, 4 green candles in a row. Nothing too crazy. Again, I don't want to risk it. This is a very reactive level. You guys can see that from pre-market as well. Very reactive level. This is where it could definitely age right here. I don't want to take the risk anymore, because now if I risk it at break even, I'm giving up 23%, 24% right there. And for this to go higher, right, I'm only going to make another 5%. Is my 24% risk outweighing another 5% reward? No. So now I'm thinking about it this way. I'm like, all right, well, if I was going to make another 5%, I'm not risking only another 5% of my potential gains right here, because your gains aren't realized until you sell. So I'm up 24%, but I didn't sell it at 24% yet. So now I had to make a decision. And I knew this is a reactive area right here from previous price actions. I was like, I'm going to take it right here. And I sold. Next 2 minutes, we start coming down, retest this. And now we're chopping back and forth. Had a nice move, and now we just kept chopping back and forth in that area. Perfect sell, to be honest, in that area. I mean, you could have caught that, but that was only an extra like 5%, 10%. And that's like the psychology. Like these reversals, like no one would think, oh, this is where it's going to reverse and you're going to have this nice move like that. It's more so like psychology scalping, like a psychology-based reversal. Like we had this huge move to the downside. We come up, and then we had this huge candle, right? This huge aggressive candle. Just for it to stop like that, That's how you know momentum slowing down. The train stopped. The 200 miles per hour train stopped right there. It's not continuing anymore. You can't just stop sellers like that. There has to be something there. And buyers were there. And then if it was going to continue, maybe, it just needed to pull up, get rid of those buyers, and then come back down. It would have came down there, and it didn't. So if it wouldn't come down there, and, I know there's people that are also in shorts, they're also going to get faked out, which is going to help us, because when they get stopped out, how do you get stopped out of shorts? You have to cover it. And how do you cover it? You have to buy it back, which means that there's going to be more buying pressure for us. They probably got stopped out right around here when it started coming up like that, which just helped this trade even more. But it's psychology. You have to think about it. And I've been trading price action for so long. It's like you just know it, right? You just feel it. And hopefully this video helped, the people that understand like just the price action, stuff like that. You guys understand it doesn't just stop like that. Price action goes like this and goes like this. Or if it's an uptrend, goes like this. People take profits, goes up like that. As soon as that rhythm stops, and just stops like that, especially after a huge move like that, you know that if it was going to keep going down, it would have went down right there. But it didn't. So if it's not going to go down, it got to go up. And that's exactly what I traded. So that's the 1-for-1 for me today. This is the last video in the 4-part series. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you guys subscribe, leave a like. Let me know if you guys like this series as well. Also, I live trade every single morning in my chat room. Link is in the bio if you guys are interested in that. Or you guys could DM me if you guys have any questions, even if it's not about my chat room, just about trading in general. My DMs are always open. I can't guarantee that I'm going to get back to it quick, but I'm definitely going to answer them. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.